you. I'm so glad you came this week. Why am I wearing this big coat? Let me tell you. Years ago, Mr. Joe and I went on this great vacation out west. And we went out to Yellowstone, and we veered from Yellowstone and we went into Montana. And there was this glacier. Glaciers are big fields of ice. Oh, it was so cool. And we even got out of the car and walked up and we could touch it. But I was about to freeze to death. It was so cold. So I got this big parka, and now I'm ready. And I'm hoping that we could go back and do it again. And this time I won't freeze because, see, I'm prepared. But hoping to go on a vacation is real different than hoping in God, you know? We're going to be talking this whole month about different ways that we can worship God. And this time, we're going to be talking about we can worship by putting our hope in God, knowing that God will take care of us. And I just love Psalm 30, and I want to read some of it to you. Would that be okay? Verse 12 says, "What joy for the nation whose God is the Lord, whose people he has chosen as his inheritance." You know, he chose Israel, all the people of Israel. You remember last week we talked about how Jacob's family was going to be like the dust on the earth, like the sand in the beach. So many, so very many. And that happened. Many people in the nation of Israel. But God says any nation, if they are his people, they will be blessed. They will be joyful. And that's what it says. What joy for the nation whose God is the Lord. You know, when they created America, that was the whole plan, that God would be the God for this nation so we could be blessed. Well, let's read on some more, okay? This is Psalm 33, verse 13. "The Lord looks down from heaven and sees the whole human race from his throne. He observes all who live on the earth. He made their hearts, so he understands everything they do." God created us. He understands us. He knows how we think. He knows why we act the way we do. And he loves us anyway. He sees everybody all at the same time. I just think that is the coolest thing. Anytime I get a chance to ride on an airplane and I look out and I see all those towns, I realize, you know what? God knows everything going on with every single person down there. So he knows everything that's going on with you too. And he knows why you do what you do. And he loves you anyway. Even if sometimes what we do isn't so good, because sometimes what we do isn't so good. But he loves us, and that's so cool. And it goes on, "The best equipped army cannot save a king, nor is a great strength enough to save a warrior." So even our kings and leaders can't be the best for us. They can't save our nation. They could try, and they can lead us best they can. But you know what? Only God knows what's going on and can protect and lead and guide and save us. It goes on. Oh, I forgot to tell you this part. "Don't count on your war horse to give you victory. For all its strength, it cannot save you." A war horse was the strongest animal that they had back then. And even it couldn't save. So we may have lots of armies, and we may have submarines, and we may have aircraft carriers, and we may have jets and bombers and all kinds of stuff like that to protect us. But God can protect us even better than all of that stuff. Let's read on. "But the Lord watches over those who fear him, those who rely on his unfailing love." Do you think that means, if I'm scared of God? No. That's not the kind of fear they're talking about. They're talking about if you respect God, if you want to do everything God says because you believe that he knows what he's doing, that he is your leader, that you're in awe of God because He is so amazing. That's what they're talking about with this fear stuff, okay? So don't get mixed up. But the Lord watches over those who fear Him, those who rely on His unfailing love. He rescues them from death and keeps them alive in times of famine. What's a famine? Do you know a famine is when there's no food? I'm not talking about there's nothing at your house and it's time to go to the grocery store. I'm talking about you go to the grocery store and there's not even any food to buy. There is nothing for anybody to eat. That's a famine. He rescues them from death and keeps them alive in times of famine. So we put our hope in the Lord. He is our help and our shield. In Him our hearts rejoice, for we trust in His holy name. Let your unfailing love surround us, Lord, for our hope is in You alone. Keep that in mind. We can worship God when our hope is in Him. We trust Him. We know He's going to take care of us. And that's really important. So I'll see you next week. I hope you're having a good summer. Bye.